Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to talk more Watchmen. We're on episode 7 of season 1. I'm being told that this is it. There's only one season of this, so uh, apparently, unless HBO wants them to do more, this will probably be it. It kind of feels like it's ramping up to a final story because uh, it doesn't seem to be any bigger than what this is. It doesn't feel like they have any more story to tell other than this one story. I suppose that there could be more, but by the end of this episode, it kind of feels like they're wrapping it up. This is called An Almost Religious Awe, so full spoilers if you haven't seen the episode. Um, so we get kind of like the origin story retold in a way about Dr. Manhattan. Um, it's for the people who have never read the book, apparently. I do like this seeing the big giant man over Vietnam and how uh, this has become like how Vietnam after Vietnam they became the 51st state or the 52nd state. I can't remember. Wow, that's pretty bad. Um, and we go right to Angela Abar, who she's a young girl in Vietnam. She rents Sister Night, so we know that that was her inspiration for that. There was a black exploitation film from this universe, and her mom and dad are in Vietnam. He's Abar. Her dad is Reeves' son, and he's in Vietnam with her mother. And she wants to be like a superhero. She's like happy, like that's why she rented the tape. He's got a built-in bias because his dad was Hooded Justice, but nobody else knows this. Um, and then her parents are killed by a suicide bomber. So, kind of hard. I can understand that too. I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with their logic of, a giant blue man comes to your country and basically vaporizes a whole shitload of your countrymen. Yeah, there's going to be some unrest there. And then you're forced to become, a state of America. You know, it, yeah, this is definitely going to have some bad, there's going to be some bad blue blood uh, over there in Vietnam. And poor Angela, man, her backstory here is just heartbreaking, but like, wow. By the end of this, when she says later on in the episode, "This is the craziest shit I've ever heard." This is kind of some of the craziest shit I've ever heard because I don't know if I like it or if I don't like it at this point. Because I've been singing the show's praises, but this episode kind of makes me question a few things uh, I've had no problem with before. And I think I'll need a little bit more time, with this episode for me to finally make my decision. But she wakes up, and I do like this thing that True has. The True sticks her with this tutorial treatment, where they inject you with something that explains visually into your brain what it's doing to you, and why. So you've overdosed on nostalgia. I really thought that was a really clever thing. Don't ever do that to me again. Um, Basically telling you that your brain is fried. Somebody else's memories. Um, Cal. Oh, man. See, I was wondering what they were going to do with this guy. Because why do you get this guy who's an up-and-coming actor, he's really big now after Aquaman. And they've done nothing with him but make him the dad of this show. And, man, now that you look at him, it's going to be like, oh, okay. I mean, um, meanwhile, Blake has recorded what Abar said about her grandfather. And by the way, everybody, this is going to be a video because this is pretty straightforward. Even though a lot of things are getting wrapped up here, or at least explained in really quick succession. So um, she knows that the 7th Cavalry was sent to kill Looking Glass, and now they're dead. And then she goes to, so Looking Glass is out there. So we also know that at the end of Looking Glass's episode, they came to kill him and he took them out. So he's out there missing in action right now. And she knows that Angela's grandfather is the one who killed Judd. So she takes that information to Judd's wife, played by Frances Fisher, sorry. And they go over the Cyclops part and the mind control part. And what I love about this is she just confesses. She's just like, I was getting really tired of hearing you talk like this. So here's the part where I confess. Yeah, this is what we're doing. The 7th Cavalry, and this is all about, taking power back, and getting the presidency. But that's so small potatoes. And I went, what's bigger than president? And it really should have been obvious to me. But the funny part about this scene is when she's like pressing the old garage door opener, and Blake's just sitting there like, what are you doing? I kept saying, shoot her! Shoot her! Like the guy in Jurassic Park with the Velociraptor at the beginning. Shoot her! But she doesn't. She eventually falls through a trap door, which is pretty Mr. Burns of her. But it's kind of funny. And True's daughter. Okay, woof. Another crazy thing here. Who asks Angela, why are you a cop? And she flashes back. So throughout this episode, she's constantly going through her memories and her grandfather's at the same time. It's why they keep asking, telling her to not see him right now, because you're not going to know where he ends and she begins. And in fact, we never see him in this episode, which is kind of a shame. But when we do get into that room, I was like, okay, what the actual fuck is happening here? And this, this episode's a mess. This episode's like trying to jam in a lot of information, and it's kind of just, now this is happening. Now you're hearing about this, but then other things aren't revealed. So like they're really gonna like throw in a lot of stuff in the next 2 episodes, everybody. They've got a lot. And we still don't know what the hell's going on with Adrian Veidt. I'm like, okay, what is going on with Adrian Veidt? He's been on trial for a year? Okay, so I know time can't work that. When did he get sent there? When did Manhattan put him there? Because he was operating, right, for a while, it seems, on Earth, before he got put there. But in this trial between what I now believe are like the Adam and Eves, and that this is like their Garden of Eden, and Adrian basically was their god, and flinging them into space, and now they're judging their god. And I don't know who the game warden is. And even after they've been, it's like Alice in Wonderland. It's just like, it's madness there. A trial that goes on for a year, that in the end, the judge says, well, you're not a jury of his peers, so we can't even try this case. And then he brings in pigs. These are his peers. And he holds up the pigs and it says guilty. And I'm just like, this is cuckoo. This is bananas. Like, so what? So, and then when Adrian farts, when they ask him, like, what do you have to say for yourself? And it's like, what in your defense? And he just cuts this really loud fart. And I went, what? I know he was making a statement there that this is how important it is to him. He could give a rat's ass. He'd rather fart. But man, I mean, that just, I don't know. This show lost a lot of cool points with me in this episode a little bit. We find out that Cal had full-on amnesia, which we're told, doesn't really happen except on soap operas. And so I automatically, my red flags were going up. Like, okay, so if that doesn't happen, why did she come to Tulsa? We also find out that True's daughter is really her mom's clone. So that's going on too. She withholds her plans, of course, though, because we couldn't do that. I mean, we get so much exposition in this. We get a lot of things explained in this, but not the whole plans of what the Millennium Clock really does. Because their whole, we can't know that until the right moment, right? Um, so Blake is being held by Keen. Blake is basically, I don't give a shit. He says what the plan is, that they're going to become Dr. Manhattan. Well, how do you just become Dr. Manhattan? So whatever they've been doing, whatever they're working on, I don't think that has to do with True and her Millennium Clock. Because otherwise, why would Will Reeves be working with her? This all seems to be a plan that they all have, and they're just gonna kind of spring it on us. So like, I have no fear about what Keen is about to do, even if it. And honestly, I can't say that I really care about the repercussions of what's going on in this. Wow, I changed my levels, and my because it's Sunday, it's still like a shitty quality stream I'm doing here. We also find out that Angela's not hooked up to her grandfather. She's hooked up to an elephant. Now, the only thing I can think of, and I swear this is all I could think of, why they would have her hooked up to an elephant, is because an elephant never forgets, is the saying. And the whole thing that they're doing with her memories, that maybe the elephant is taking her memories, and that they could use the elephant's brain to store them. That's the only thing I could think of. And then where is her grandfather? Louis Gossett Jr. didn't actually die in the making of this show, did he? So, June shows up. We get another flashback. June, Reeves' wife, comes to Vietnam to get Angela. And she's wonderful. And this poor little girl has finally got somebody coming to rescue her. And she has a heart attack as they're getting into the car to leave. But before that, she tells her about how she came from Tulsa and that her father had bad memories of somebody in a mask that scared him when he was a kid, and that's why he's got this bias against heroes. So now she ends up back in the orphanage, I'm assuming, after she got this close to freedom. So it feels like the idea to go to Tulsa was put in her head, and she was always going to come back to Tulsa at some point. And then she escapes again. So apparently after she saw the elephant and she went into her weird memories again, they got her back into bed. She gets back out. She goes and finds the big ball that people make the Mars phone calls on. And you realize that this is where the calls all come from, or go to. They go through here. The messages never get to Dr. Manhattan. Because he's not listening. Because as Reeves said, Dr. Manhattan is here on Earth pretending to be a human. And it just, the light bulb just went off in my head. I mean, I needed nothing else. Amnesia, bald guy, walking around on Earth, pretending to be a human. And she even says, this is the craziest shit I've ever heard, and I'm like going, oh boy, she's really... Because she says that Keen and them are going to capture Dr. Manhattan and become him, because things have gotten so bad for the white man here that they want to take this power from him and become him. And that, can you imagine the power of Dr. Manhattan and a bunch of white supremacists? And finally, when I thought that this show wouldn't go there to some level, I went, okay, I understand the whole racism thing. I've been completely on board. But this is a little heavy-handed. And while I don't disagree that there's a bunch of white guys out there that are crying right now that, oh, poor white guys, oh, the balance of power in this country. And I feel like it's all, they're a bunch of whiny assholes. But this is a little bit on the nose and a little bit too much of a blunt force instrument of this would be the logical step that white supremacists would go to to have the white man get the balance of power back from everybody in the country that's against them right now is we're going to become Dr. Manhattan. Wow, show. Wow. Look, man, maybe I wouldn't put it past some of the most awful, awful people in this, white people in this world, these white men in this world that do some crazy shit, some bad stuff to get what they want. But even this is a little bit off the rails. Um, and believe me, like I said, I have no sympathy for the white men crying out in this country, going, "Oh no, poor us! Oh, everybody's against us." More like this. But still, this is pretty in your face stuff. So she, of course, leads them right to the seventh cavalry. They follow her right to her house because we know where she's going, and at least I knew where she was going at this point, and to find him, to find Cal, and to bring him out of the tunnel because Cal is Dr. Manhattan. And that he came to her, like we're going to find out in the penultimate episode, their whole backstory and how they found each other. And I can't wait to hear that story. I really can't. I can't wait to hear how they figure this one out. Because, and it sounds like he's going to be playing him. Or at least some version of him. I would say just put him in blue makeup. Does that mean we're going to see Aquaman, we're going to see Black Manta's penis? Probably. I think that the actress who plays Laurie Blake said she had to. So I don't know. I don't know, man. It's gonna be an insane next episode of how they deal with this. And in that trailer, they also say I'm gonna die and you're gonna try to save me, but it's not gonna happen. So I don't know. This is insane. This is wild. I wish I had more to say about it because I need more time to process. But tons of exposition. Regina King everybody's still acting their hearts out in this. They're all doing a really good job. But this, like Regina King's character said, this is the craziest shit I've ever heard. Some of this is really, really nuts, and some of this is just a little too heavy-handed. This time it's too heavy-handed. And like I said, everybody, before you get all bent out of shape for me actually going against what I've been talking about usually on this show, where I've been like, there's no kind of problem. There's nothing to... I'm not offended by this. I'm not offended by any of this. I just think that that's going to be the thing that gets everybody talking is, oh no, they're going after the white men. They're going after the white men on this show. And yeah, they are. They are. This isn't just, this is straight up going after the poor white man mentality. And while I don't disagree, it is pretty heavy-handed, man. This is Negan taking a bat to Glenn's head in The Walking Dead heavy-handed. So, well, I myself, I'm just like, whoo, boy, you guys are gonna take a lot of flack on the Twitterverse and stuff tomorrow and after this episode airs, which is like what I love is like people that hate this show watch it just so they can bitch. Just get a life. Watch something else. I think the Patriots are playing the Texans right now. It's probably like the third quarter. Why aren't you watching that instead of watching stuff you obviously hate? So anyway, this episode's bananas. I don't know, but I hope that we can tie everything together because I feel like this is like a Jenga like stack, and we've been carefully taking everything out, and then this episode just kind of. So hopefully they can put this thing back together again in the next two episodes where it all comes together clean and fine. Because, whoa, daddy. I feel like, I think this probably had to happen at some point where they were just going to go, like, completely insane with the ideas that they're going with. But, like I said, I'm not offended. I'm fine with it. I just know that, whew. So, so good episode. It's just, it's a lot. And I think I need to rewatch it, like, pretty much right now. Just to kind of, like, okay. Because I think I understand it, but man, is this like, I keep doing that. So if you like this review, please hit the like button. Comment, please comment. This episode demands commenting on. Hit the bell for all notifications. Yeah, like it says on my thing. Subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. I want to tell everybody thank you so much for watching these videos and subscribing and liking and commenting or disliking and telling me I'm an idiot. I love it. It's all good. You know what I mean? So I love that the channel's growing because of this show. I love talking about this show. And I'm glad that so many people are enjoying at least tuning in for a little while. So, anyway, this is Robert Smirking Interview saying we'll be back next week with the penultimate episode. Tomorrow we've got His Dark Materials. You can find me on Twitter at reviews_gun if you want to follow me there or leave a comment there. Otherwise, this is Robert Smirking Interview saying have a great day, and we'll see you on the next Watchmen. Bye.